Hello, welcome to the Special Moves podcast. My name's Mike. These guys are Jake Kokowski and Liam McKelvey.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going? You alright?
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
I guess.
You been playing some games?
Yeah, doing all that sort of stuff. There's been a
few.
lot of them.
Alright then, let's move on. What have you been playing? What have you been playing?
I've been playing one game all week. It's been Apex Legends to be
Yeah.
completely. No, I haven't.
True
I've
story.
been I played East Shade as well, which I guess I'll maybe talk about a little bit later on. But that's it.
I haven't forgotten who I am. I've also been playing East.
Sorry, right.
Very
Yeah, I
nice.
played a bit of East Shade, Apex Legends, and I played Crackdown 3. Enough Crackdown 3 to sustain me for life.
Okay, well we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
in a video, I reckon. But that's there's been loads of games this week, haven't there? Like we said last week in the podcast, there's a lot of sort of games coming out on the same day. So there was Metro Exodus, there was Crackdown 3, there was Far Cry,
Jump Force.
New Dawn, and there was Jump Force.
And
Yeah.
Anthem if you have the EA like Premier Special Super Edition.
Yeah, lucky you. It's
Yeah.
been a big week. It has been a big week for video games, and we've been busy. And not yet, like you said, not to mention the fact that Apex Legends only happened like a week ago, and everyone's playing it. It's like 25 million people playing that. Let's talk about that real quick before we go into anything else.
Yeah.
Apex Legends being 25 million players deep, probably like bigger than that already
Definitely
by the time
definitely
because
bigger than
that,
that,
was a few days ago at the time of recording, wasn't it, that they announced that.
It was like 5 days ago, and about 5 days before that, it was 10 million.
yeah.
So it's probably closer to 50 now than 25, to be honest.
So like for like comparisons with Fortnite it's currently rapidly outpacing Fortnite.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it took Fortnite 8 weeks to get 25 million. Yeah,
And it was Fortnite took a while to reach 10, and
Yeah.
Apex was like. But you know the climate's a bit different now. Like there's a big sort of appetite for battle royale because everyone's played Fortnite. You know, Fortnite. A lot of people discovered battle royale with Fortnite, I reckon, because people were playing PUBG and stuff, and so there was like you know it was really popular.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Premiership football players playing it popular.
No, I guess not. I also think that like there was the opportunity for people to not be hungry for battle royale because of Fortnite. You know,
Yeah.
people think, well, what's the point trying anything else?
Yeah.
Because since Fortnite came out, there's been a few that have tried. You know, like okay, I guess Call of Duty Blackout is probably the biggest battle royale game since
Yeah, it's quite
Fortnite.
good, yeah.
There's probably still some people playing it now. Probably
Yeah.
millions of people still playing it
I
now.
imagine,
So
people.
the-
There's a lot of this. There's an article on the BBC like saying, is Apex Legends a threat to Fortnite? I think COD Blackout. It's so similar to that, but mechanically, in my opinion, better. Like because we talked about this last week of who's behind sort of Apex Legends and stuff,
the
and
pedigree.
it's got Call of Duty blood in its veins. You
Yeah.
can tell that playing it, but it's really tight, sharp first-person shooting, and it's really
Yeah.
similar to
It
Blackout.
really
and
feels
it's-
more like a shooter than like Fortnite.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
wouldn't ever describe Fortnite as a shooter, even though obviously that's pretty much, apart from the building, the only thing
Yeah.
you do in it.
Yeah.
But I would say, at its core,
So
this is a shooter.
So, I reckon if you're playing Blackout and you're not already heavily invested in it, Apex Legends does a lot of what that game does as well.
What won't cost
But
you any
free.
money.
Yeah, so it's probably, I don't know, it might have had a bigger effect on that than Fortnite. I would
Yeah, for sure.
straight off the
And
bat.
I wonder if it's affecting Overwatch. Because it has got this legend system.
Yeah.
To me, the legend system is one of the best things about it,
Yeah,
right?
so you can choose a different sort of character each
Yeah.
time you
Not
play.
that I do. I pick the same one every time.
Yeah, but if you don't know what it is,
Exactly.
there's no, you haven't got like an avatar that you customize or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
you just choose. There's like a hand of like 8 characters or something.
Yeah.
And you can
That's it.
pick one of them every time you play, and it's it's ripe for like adding more, and there'll be
Yeah.
it's just exactly like Overwatch.
Exactly. So you can only pick, like, if Mike's picked somebody, then me and Liam couldn't pick them then for that
Yeah.
round. The other teams can. They could all have their version of that character.
Yeah.
But we can only ever have one. So, and because of that, kind of like how League of Legends and the MOBAs work, like even though you might main one character, like if
Yeah.
you two had the same character as your main hero, if you were playing together, one of you is always going to have to adapt it. You know what I mean? So like, it can kind of fall short of your comfort zone a little bit. But it gives it a new lease of life that way because you're playing with a character that you're not used to, and then you'll use a different ability, something that you don't see anything like in Fortnite and stuff. Because the thing with all of the battle royale games that I found is that, like, especially for the first bit, a lot of it is just down to like how lucky you are finding loot. Like even if 5 people land in the best area, one of you will find a dead good shotgun, one of you will find a pistol. But at least with this, like, to even that playing field out, you've got like abilities that are set, so you kind of know what you're in for.
Yeah.
Before the game starts,
and it's really straightforward. It's just mapped to the shoulder buttons and stuff, and there's a passive ability. But anyway, it's doing really well. It's the number, like we were saying, it's probably the number 25 million players is probably already outdated by the time this goes out. That's how quickly it's growing.
Insane,
it's going to be really interesting to see how they manage this sort of unprecedented success. Technically, I think that was probably part of the reason why it took off so rapidly, was because it was so smooth and stable to begin with. It feels really complete and polished. But how do they manage that growth of like having millions and millions and millions? It's got EA behind it, so it should, you'd think, they'd be able to cope and pour money into resources and on the technical server side and things like that to keep things ticking over. They have had a couple of little blips I've seen on their Twitter and stuff that matchmaking was taking ages and stuff. But honestly, it's been quite smooth.
Well, there's been a lot of crashes, a lot on the PC version.
Yes, yeah.
And I think the step-up consoles, so the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X.
Yeah, I've had a few disconnects.
Yeah, they're having more problems than the vanilla consoles, but they've now started, which is a huge undertaking, really, daily updates.
Yeah.
Daily updates.
This is what I mean with when you've got that amount of players, you've got so many more opportunities to go wrong, so many people reporting stuff,
exactly,
and so many error reports coming in.
Yeah, even if it's like 1% of those 25 million, that's a massive number, isn't it? Obviously. Yeah. So it's the fact that they're doing daily updates is interesting and crucial, really, because people forget about Fortnite. It didn't just like make a polished game and that was it. Remember, the whole thing with PUBG losing its mantle to Fortnite, in my opinion, was down to the fact that Fortnite was constantly doing events.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, I think it is still. There's a new update. There's something new. There's a different, there's all sorts of Thanos in there. Remember?
Yeah.
They had all sorts of shit in there. PUBG couldn't even chuck out another map for like a year.
Amazing. It's a masterclass in like both marketing and sort of live game.
Games as a service kind
development.
of model.
It is development because they're adding to it and chucking stuff in all the time. So,
and that's kind of really based around what the players are saying as well. So there's no way that you can kind of really plan it that ahead in advance. Like, so you're saying like that it's development on the fly, and you're dead right, because like if I don't know, I don't think they were expecting players to go so hard on like the Mozambique shotgun, but everyone hates it, don't they? So they're probably going to have to develop something around that or fix something.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that as well. How the balance of things shift over the time.
Exactly.
Like what they nerf and what they things like that. That's the stage of its life that it's going to move into really quickly now, because the honeymoon phase of everyone giving it a spin is sort of coming to an end, and they'll want to.
Well, that's
keep that buzz going.
The Battle Pass launches in 2 weeks, and that's when we're really going to see everything. That's when they're either going to make or break their. I think, like the Battle Pass, right? I think Fortnite ones is like £7 a season.
Right.
I have a feeling this is going to be like £20. I don't know why, but I'm saying it'll be quite expensive. I think this is when everyone will be reminded. Oh, okay. But let's see what they're offering with that. I mean, you can see in their roadmap what they're doing in the month of March and Season 1, but that is where they might lose people when they start, because the game's still going to be free, but then all of a sudden you're going to notice it in the main menu more, aren't you? You're going to notice like, do the Battle Pass, you can get this skin.
They've got to be careful. They've got to be careful for sure, because you don't want to alienate people, and you want to appear fair, especially if you're a game that's been published by EA. So let's talk about Nintendo Direct then. So that was probably the single biggest sort of gaming event of the.
Whether you like it or not.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it was quite exciting. It was Nintendo Direct, so if you're totally unaware, is a short sort of 30, 35-minute video conference live thing that they do periodically. It's been sort of less frequent the last few months, I think.
Yeah, this is the first one of 2019, I think.
Yeah, so but it's more, it's a quite a regular occurrence.
Yeah, and it's not always about Super Smash Bros, is it?
It's not. No, thank God. No, they just announce a lot of stuff. They just sort of they give you new looks at games that you already know is coming. They give you they'll spend a few minutes showing you the gameplay mechanics of something that you've only seen a trailer for before and stuff. But they make a lot of announcements, a lot of like nice indie surprises, because obviously so many things get ported to the Switch, and there's so much interest to the Switch. From developers, it's a great little event and a great little. There's always something. There's always an indie game coming. Like we do the sort of new releases in the podcast every week. Well, every week there's a Switch port, right? And then that's what sort of this conference is like the pick of the I'm calling it a conference, but you know what I mean. This sort of live stream thing is like the pick of the bunch and the picking the most exciting ones and the
for sure,
the ones that there's what I particularly like about it is the available right now sort of stuff, and there's always an available right now surprise in there, which is really nice.
One of them.
They'll always drop a game straight away. So like in July, like they did Hollow Knight, which was massive, and
bought that straight away.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one I was wanting really. They did like it wasn't a direct, but they did like an indie showcase last month, which was like I think it was 20 minutes of just literally indie games coming to the Switch, and that was a real thing. This focused on like a bit more AAA stuff as well as indie picks and the selection of ports, because we did get some really quite old games. So I don't know. Let's should we start from the top?
Well, I don't know. I just want to say, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is really exciting.
You want to go on the big one?
You're going to start at the best bit?
Start at the best bit, mate. God. Who cares? Like, there was like some Smash Brothers update and shit. I couldn't give less of a shit about that, but then Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, they ended the Nintendo Direct on. And that was a lovely little surprise. Like, I don't think anyone really saw that coming, right? And it was so this is a remake of the classic
Capital Classic.
Yeah, from the 90s, and
from the original Game Boy.
Yeah, I had this. I was lucky enough to have this on the Game Boy, and as a kid, I didn't have many games on the Game Boy. I had Tetris, which I think is shite. I had Castlevania. Which
I hate Tetris as well.
Yeah, no, we've talked about it a lot in the past.
I don't know where I
for Liam's sake,
you
know what I mean? I talked about this in the
It's like, I thought about this the other day. Quick little Tetris aside here. This isn't directed at you at all, Liam. This is just the Tetris community at large. Okay. Everyone's saying it's perfect.
You lot, It
was like, I saw someone tweet like, I think it was Cliff Pazinski or something, this week saying, if I could have one desert island game, it would be Tetris because it's perfect. It's like, fuck off.
Play Tetris Effect, and then,
this is the thing with Tetris. This is what I was going to say. It's like water. Okay? It's so pure. Yeah. It's so perfect. It is all you need, really. Yeah.
But why does squash exist?
Yeah, well,
why does cordial exist?
Why can't I stop drinking beer?
Exactly. So listen here, Cliff, all right? Quick side note, because I don't know. Actually, no, we'll give it its own time. But for those that aren't aware, we'll talk in a minute about Tetris Battle Royale, which is an actual thing. Yeah. We'll talk about it in a minute.
So
Link's Awakening, anyway, just a quick one here, because it was a very, very difficult game for me as a kid. I had Castlevania, it was dead hard.
Can you do me a favour if you're editing this, yeah? Can you put like the gameplay on top of this right now?
Of what? The original Link's Awakening?
No. Alright, put one and then put the other, because it's so nice.
Okay,
it's such a nice little bit of gameplay.
So I played this as a kid, right? And this is my first Zelda. I love the Zelda series. I love them. And this is the one that was like really, I'm trying to think of a word that's nothing to do with the word awaken, but this is the one that really started because subconsciously I've gone there. Yeah, so I sort of this is the one I actually played this first, then Link to the Past, Oracle of Seasons, Wind Waker, then I did Ocarina of Time. This was the one that made me love video games and adventure games, because I hadn't played like a big adventure game, and admittedly, if I had more games at my disposal, I probably would have rage quit it. But because I didn't have many games, I was forced to go through the puzzles, and I was like only like quite young, 8 or something like that when I played it, and I sat through it. I endured, and I got it, and I loved it. And I talk about Link's Awakening to people who other Zelda fans, and no one puts it top tier, but it is fucking top tier. I played Link to the Past, and I rate this one well higher.
This is the sort of this is like perfect remake material for me,
because it was overlooked originally, like by people that don't know, youngsters don't know. Then everyone knows Link to the Past because of the snazzy one. They've probably got it on an emulator somewhere on the computer.
And Ocarina is the number one on every single website's top 100.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like, right, basically, Link's Awakening to A Link to the Past is Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time. It's the one that slyly has got a lot more to it. Yeah. But, you're dead right. It's perfect to be done. And it was really cool when it was released to see other people excited about it, and other people coming out about it, like all these truthers, like it actually is the best. Yeah, it's really good. The graphical style for this one, is the sticking point for some people that have seen it. It's very amiibo kind of
chibi amiibo. Piss off because it looks really nice. I think it looks lovely. I think it looks just excellent. Just like a really good. How do you remake a Game Boy game in an interesting way without completely... So Pokemon Let's Go sort of give it a spin, and
Yeah.
and then they do. So you get the same sort of, not perspective, but the game plays out in a familiar sort of way because of where the camera is and stuff like that.
But the graphics are very
But-
very nice Pokemon Go style graphics, right?
And this is
Great job on
that kind of thing, and I love a good remake. I love a game. I love a company really putting time and love and effort into giving you that experience from the 90s in a really nice, like shiny new, interesting way.
Shiny being a key word, because
Yeah.
it's a very plasticky look. It kind of looks like you would buy a toy set with Link and the enemy, like.
But you got all these games that are like dioramas and stuff now, and it looks great, like Captain Toad and stuff, and like Bad North and stuff. It's such a good look, and this is. It sort of reminds me of that a little bit, because, like you say, it's a toy box style look that it's got.
Yeah, it looks like this is like when you get a set of toys as a kid and your imagination's going wild and you're imagining going on an adventure. It's like that. You've got this little Link action figure and you're taking him round this island, trying to wake the Windfish up.
What did you think of this, Liam?
I thought it looked very nice indeed. I'm looking forward to it, because I never actually got the time to finish the original Link's Awakening. I do have it, but just never finished it. And yeah, I think this will be it's a great time to get back into it, really.
Yeah. I mean, it was 2019 that they put as a date on it, so there's no, we don't know any further than that. But it was a nice little announcement right at the end. Looks fantastic. I can't wait for this personally. So
This
that's
was
coming
after,
to the Switch.
like, well, there's kind of host of the direct said he's got one more game to show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one more game, and it was Astral Chain. Link's Awakening was after that, like as a super, post-credit scene kind of thing. But Astral Chain, I've seen a lot of talk about this as well. Do you remember that one? What they showed last? I'm just about to sneeze, so.
I
Sorry,
purposely
everybody.
didn't say anything then, because I just wanted to.
What we'll do, I'll edit that out. I'll edit that out for sure. Yeah.
I reckon you don't, mate. Just let
Okay, we'll keep it in.
them see the
Whatever. Listen,
creases.
everyone listening in the audio, so sorry about that. Astral Chain. This looked like a Liam game. There was cops
Yeah.
with like kind of Akira-looking cars.
Yeah.
I thought him straight away Near Automata, and then lo and behold,
You see the little.
yeah,
Yep.
Platinum.
It was made by Platinum Games.
yeah, and because usually it was almost everything about it would usually be off-putting for me personally, but I looked at it and I thought, no, this has got Near Automata vibes, and I like Near Automata, and so it's got that sort of pedigree behind it, and it looks like it could be. I bet you it's going to be a blazer of a high-rated.
I'm into this.
it'll be-
Knowing Platinum Games, it'll get really good reviews, but no one will buy it.
Yeah, and there'll
It's
be people.
sadly how it goes.
Yeah, using the pictures and stuff in forum posts and stuff as their.
Oh,
yeah. It'll be that sort of thing. It'll be So that was a little announcement at the end. Now, was that an exclusive? I think it was, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
I think that was
I'll
an
find out right
actual Switch exclusive.
because they announced this, and then at the same time did like a little development update on Bayonetta 3, saying that it's still in development, but it's taking a bit more time than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, here's another Platinum Games game instead of Bayonetta 3.
Which is, cool.
I mean,
Fine, yeah. I'll have
I'm really into this. It looked very cool.
that. So while Jake's having a little browse there,
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. I do know it's out in August,
yeah.
so that's something.
Yeah, it's not. It's not actually. It's not very far away. So that's quite cool.
That was a common theme for a lot of the games in
Yeah.
this Direct. A lot of them had very close release dates.
Yeah, I mean, there was some on the day releases. There was Final Fantasy IX, which was a nice surprise for me. So Final Fantasy IX, the classic,
the PS1
RPG,
classic.
yeah, is now
One of the
PS1
best
version.
games ever made.
Jake with some news.
Yeah, it's published by Nintendo, so it's just for the
So
Switch.
it's an
Yeah.
exclusive. There you go. I thought it was. Yeah, so
PlayStation had Nier for a bit. This seems like it's going to eventually get ported, but then again, I don't know. Did Nintendo often let their babies fly out eventually?
Bayonetta
not often,
2 is
no.
the big one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2 is exclusive to the Wii U and Switch.
Yeah, so you know.
I
So,
can't imagine them letting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big thing with that was because Nintendo funded the development of Bayonetta 2.
yeah, so but
Yeah.
so to my mind, it's essentially a first party.
Yeah,
sort of
it might as well be.
Yeah, so that's sort of a similar deal here then. So Final Fantasy 7 is coming as well on March the 26th.
Yeah.
So these
The
games
true
are
best
like
game
were
of all
quite
time.
well. They were these games are like highly sort of on my wish list for the Switch, and Final Fantasy 9 higher than any other pretty much, and I got that already on the day, which was an awesome little
What
surprise.
we were on about those surprises.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a surprise.
It's out right now, and it was even like a little Final Fantasy VII is coming in March, and I was like, oh, that's quite cool. I hope Final Fantasy IX comes, and then they were like, and Final Fantasy IX is out right now on the Switch, or later today, or whatever it was. So Final Fantasy IX, I bought and played a little bit of that, and it's it is just quite a. Well, they haven't done anything. If it's not a remaster, it's not nothing like
Very
that.
bare
It's
bones.
straight port. It's got
It's the same one that you can buy on PC right now.
yeah, and it's got this sort of not so nice 3D control sort of system where you move the character around that it doesn't quite doesn't feel right somehow.
I think 8-way movement
Yeah.
is what they have, whereas the original PS1 one had full analog 360 degree control.
And it doesn't quite it doesn't quite feel right. And it's also got like pillar boxes, so it's just got, so it's not the full. It doesn't use the full width of the Switch screen, which is not.
I'm looking at a screenshot right now of Final Fantasy VII, and it's the same. Like
But that is kind of par for the course with these ports,
especially PS1 ports.
Yeah, and it's got the pre-rendered art in the background of
slightly,
it. So.
Yeah, unless we were saying it earlier, like if they went, you'd have to go into those files. And literally stretch or remake them every background in the game in order to make that widescreen. So.
It's
ask.
You look at that and you think, well, that's a bit lazy, I suppose. But then they charge £17 for it, and I bought it instantly without even thinking about it, and that's why they can get away with it.
Because the content of the game is like superb.
It's a classic, yeah. So that was quite nice. There's also some nice ports coming as well. So Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which was pretty much game of the year for me in 2017 when it came out. Absolutely superb game. That's coming to the Switch in spring.
Interesting to see how they'll do that, because it's a very graphically heavy game, isn't it?
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, the presentation was a big part of it, for sure. And that was like their thing, wasn't it? It's like, it's not a AAA game, it's only 6 hours long, but it looks the part. And so bringing that to the Switch, that's
It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
But that's lucky for any Nintendo fans who haven't yet played it, because it is a superb game. So Assassin's Creed 3 is the other, I guess, interesting port remaster thing that's coming.
It looked arse, let's be honest.
It like the frame rate was like 15 frames a second max.
It did not look good.
No. And
it says it's remastered, but it looks exactly the same as the remastered one. Just
I
the
would
regular
contend
original.
that it probably looked better on the Xbox 360 or whatever.
They've put like a warm yellow filter over it for some reason in the remastered one.
So we'll see how that.
It was a rumour, that wasn't it? And everyone was like, "Oh, really? Every one they could have done." Not 1 and 2.
I don't.
3.
I just don't get it at all. I reckon it's probably the most. They would have sat down, or some people would have sat down, and which is the most Switch friendly in terms of like the software and the back end sort of stuff. Which is the easiest. To
I read
move
some
over.
because Assassin's Creed 3 they had a Wii U version of it. So
right.
porting it to
There
the
you
Switch
go.
is probably a lot easier.
That's it then, isn't it? That's it.
It's already
that.
they've already got experience with Nintendo's the dev kits or whatever.
Yeah. So it was really quite busy. There was lots of other announcements that were, Box Boy and Box Girl.
Yeah, Mario Maker 2.
Mario Maker 2 was huge.
Deltarune, a game that I guess I talked about, like, I think it was like podcast number 3 or something, that Undertale 2, basically. That's out for free soon on the Switch. There was like obviously Yoshi's Crafted World's out like next month.
Yeah, so we saw a bit of that, didn't we?
Yeah, and there's a free demo which I've 100% downloaded.
Oh, there was a demo for there was some good demo news. It was I think Pokemon Let's Go. I played the demo. That's how I bought that. Yeah, and it's quite good. And did Captain Toad?
Captain Toad added an entire new mode for free,
Co-op,
starting, and it's now 2-player co-op.
And there was a demo, right? Or was there already a demo?
There was already a demo for that, but now because in the original it's 1 player, but you can, if you split the Joy-Cons, one of you will control Toad and the other will control like a cursor.
Some local.
But now you'll both control a Toad each, so it's like basically they've added in 2-player for free on a game that's been out for a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, and they announced some DLC for it.
Yeah.
And that was there was sort of hand in hand announcement there for both of them. And then there was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so this is the Black Order. It's called. So there was like just
those ones that were in Infinity War. If you don't know who they are,
right?
You know, Thanos' children.
Awesome.
That's who the Black Order is.
Right. Cool. I got that on. Taking that on board. There was
Tetris Battle Royale.
There was Tetris Battle Royale. I was going to talk a little bit more about Marvel.
Oh, go on. Yeah, do it, man.
What did they announce for this, Liam? Was it just some more...
So it was some more gameplay and a release date. I think it was sometime in the summer, the release date.
think
Right,
it was.
pretty soon then.
Yeah, it was like July, August type. But yeah, it was. They announced.
It's just said summer, yeah.
Yeah, they announced some of the characters were going to be in there. So you've got the Avengers, you got some of the Defenders. They were in there. Made a big thing about Captain Marvel being in it, probably because the Captain Marvel movie's out in a few weeks. But yeah, it looked good. I think this will be a nice little like action RPG, and I think it'll be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did play. I can't remember if it was the first or the second one. An awful lot, and it was like good local co-op, which is like the biggest selling point for me, because the list of local co-op games is quite tight, isn't it? So, but I had a really nice time playing it. So this, I could see that being, quite a good game. I would anticipate it getting some decent reviews, hopefully.
Yeah.
So all right then, Jake.
Well, it's funny because you've actually omitted like the biggest one. Like, I guess the only one that they mentioned ahead of time,
which was
which is Fire Emblem, the Three Houses. They had that was like took up the biggest portion of the whole thing, and it was
they sort of led with it, didn't they?
Yeah. And then you got like this. It was talking about basically like it's like you're running a school, isn't it? Something like that. You're in like some academy, very anime. You're running an academy.
Harry Potter, Liam said
Fire Emblem, Harry Potter.
Fire Emblem, Harry Potter,
and it's the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, or the Golden Deer. And they're all like their own little clan, and you can just train them up to be bad boys and that, just fighting. It looked really interesting for people that are into that sort of game. I know Fire Emblem's got a massive cult following. I'm not even going to bother trying to do it justice because I just don't. It didn't grab me. I watched it and I was thinking, yeah, cool, but I was more interested in the memes that Liam was providing.
It's going to be a review based
Wait
on
and see.
that.
It's not.
It'll get good reviews probably.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
Fire Emblem game does.
It's out soon, July the 26th, so that's interesting. But yeah, Tetris Battle Royale, man, let's get into it.
Tetris 99, as it's called.
Yeah, 99 players, only one winner. You're all playing Tetris, but one of you is better
let's
at
move
that.
on.
Nervous. Yeah. It was out that day. That was a right now game.
So I can't. My eyes glazed over so badly that I can't even. And I was watching, and I wasn't doing anything else.
Tetris, yeah.
I was texting you guys, but I was like, I watched this and I can't remember any of it.
Well, basically, you play Tetris.
Very blue. I remember the colour blue strongly. A lot of blue here.
Well, you play in like Tetris, and then in the background, you can see everyone else playing Tetris.
Right.
99 others. And I think when one of you fucks up, boom, you're out. So you just Tetris to the end.
Yeah.
That's it.
It gets progressively faster and everything like that. So it's like playing a normal. Yeah. It's just like playing a normal game of Tetris. There just happens to be 98 other people or whatever in the background, and it's just whoever can survive the longest.
I don't know what happens if you fail. Like, can you quit to lobby or spectate? Is it like a?
Can you squat up?
That's the thing. I don't know if you can. All I know is it was like. It requires online, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, unless you've got 99 mates that can play. Well, Thanos already put it to us last week that we don't have any. Never mind 99.
Yeah, well, and that's why we don't like whatever the game
that's
was.
Why we don't like
I can't
Tetris.
remember what game it was.
So yeah, I just thought it's funny because it seems like such a little. Do you know what? I'm not even. I've got a very, very strong feeling that when PUBG was kicking about and then they announced Fortnite. There was loads of comments on YouTube saying, "What's next? Tetris Battle Royale."
Yeah.
And I really do feel like someone's gone, "Fuck you, man! It's happening." Because can you
And it just happened to be a gaming executive.
It's like a snarky comment, isn't it? What's next? Fucking Tetris Battle Royale. Yeah, we've done it. We've gone and done it.
I bet you if you could search somehow all of the comments in YouTube.
Yeah.
If you could
had the master key.
Put Tetris Battle Royale, I would put my money on millions of comments.
Yeah.
I would put my money on millions of comments. At least 1 million people saying, "What's next?"
Yeah.
Tetris Battle
What we
Royale.
want to do is kick them all off onto a plane, onto an island, and they can only be one at the end.
Yeah. Except all they've got is a Game Boy and Tetris in it. Okay.
From what I've heard, though, it's meant to be actually quite fun from the people online who played it.
It's free, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free. Anyone can play it.
So,
well, you need the Switch membership.
So that's like their first kind of like, I guess like an offer, like how PlayStation Plus and Games with Gold. That's the thing you get. Maybe they're going to do this every direct now. Pure speculation, but the fact that they're giving away a free game, as long as you're paying for your online anyway, which I guess isn't free. Yeah. But still, you've got that kind of cool incentive, and everyone knows what Tetris is, whether you reject it in your heart or not. Everyone knows, don't they? Do you know what I mean? We're on the same team here, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not. But what's so weird, and quite funny, you know, and you've got to admit, like Liam, I know you're a firm believer in it, and listen, let me say you're not alone. What you can't deny is it's so unusual that Tetris has had two interesting spins on it as an IP franchise
in a matter of months,
in
right?
A couple of months. Yeah. Tetris Effect was like, not even joking, in loads of people's top 5 games of the year.
Yeah.
And now there's a Tetris Battle Royale. What's next? Tetris FPS?
Pac-Man Battle Royale?
No, actually, because that would...
You know that's coming now.
Yeah.
Someone somewhere is going, shit,
this is it.
They've got it out before us.
This is it. I want the hot take.
Imagine, how would you do that? Like, 99 ghosts and then 1 Pac-Man.
Yeah. Can someone please, below in the comment section, pitch us the best, worst Battle Royale idea? It's worked for Tetris, it could work for you too.
I reckon
think of a
it
game
works
that's not
with
going to
anything.
work. Spyro the Dragon Battle Royale. Think of something, and then write the concept.
It works with imagine you did a Forza Battle Royale. They're fucking racing people would love
I
it.
thought in my head, Mario Kart Battle Royale, 99 Koopas.
Rocket League Battle Royale. It works with everything.
Yeah.
Like even big boring strategy games, right? You have
Stardew Valley.
Crusader Kings Battle Royale. They'd fucking love it. They would absolutely love it. Crusader Kings it basically is Battle Royale already, but
Train Simulator Battle Royale. Right? You're fighting against cuts. Yeah. They can only afford to keep on one. Hey, do you know Train Simulator has just had an expansion, a North Wales coastal expansion. Listen to this, yeah?
Well,
it's got Flint in it, and it even has the Statue of the Foot. Yeah, honest to God. You can buy it, it's £4.
The North Wales coastal expansion.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to know, like, whereabouts
has
you
it got
guys
that
live?
big shipwreck near
Yes! It honestly does, right? I've got a picture.
Oh, did you see? They found old arcade machines on that thing.
Really?
Yeah, listen, if
like
you don't know where we live,
That's
if you're an
pretty cool.
international fan, you want to know, if we was
where are we living? Check out the
Trying to see a giant statue of a foot.
North Wales coastal route expansion, and look, the Flint Foot, it's there. So anyway, for those that aren't North Wales based, that might seem a bit weird, yeah. But honestly, if you do want to get to know the area a little bit better, and you do own Train Simulator, there's the North Wales coastal expansion.
Right.
I thought that was interesting.
I just spoke some Welsh then, in disbelief. I think that's the first time I've done that on the channel. Yeah. Right, let's move on from this train talk because I'm bored. Okay. Hollow Knight.
This isn't Nintendo Direct. That's Nintendo Direct done.
Nintendo Direct done. Let's move on.
It's done at the Train Simulator.
Rune Factory.
Sorry?
Rune Factory.
Oh yeah, there was Rune Factory 4 special edition announced, and then they just had a little picture saying Rune Factory 5, right?
I don't even play Rune Factory. I was just taking the piss.
There's one that made me laugh. Yeah, there's one that made me laugh because there was like a Square Enix published RPG, and it looked very, very generic. And I was like, who's the developer? And it was developed by a company who are called Tokyo RPG Factory.
Yep.
Yeah.
They made I Am Setsuna.
That's not a joke.
Of course.
There was also Bloodstained.
Which one? Not
Ritual of the Night.
Yeah, because Curse of the Moon is
Curse of the Moon is like a little prequel game they put out as a bonus.
This was a bit of gameplay and just a general sort of.
So that's like the Castlevania spiritual successor.
Release date as well. They gave a firm release date. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's like the retro Castlevania game if you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you do own an Xbox,
I think
it's free.
It was a date, was it? It's this year anyway. I think it's about. It's like sort of not too far ahead. I think it's spring, summer, something like that.
But yeah, it's a Castlevania. It's a Castlevania game in all but name, really. Yeah. And it's being made by Koji Igarashi, who made all the good Castlevania games.
There you go. So yeah, so
it's out in the summertime this year. So a lot of the Nintendo Direct, for me anyway, was surprisingly close. You know, like the announcements were like 2019 summer.
But if you think about the way they've modelled it, because they're gonna need to do another one in a couple of months.
Yeah,
they need to keep. They need to keep it quite immediate. Otherwise,
obviously
spread in some further away ones, but. Yeah, they've got to keep the ball rolling with stuff, so they need to give you another update on, like, they'll show Link's Awakening, maybe not in the next one, but in the one after that, and it'll
say like December,
Exactly, yeah. So, all right, so now let's talk about Hollow Knight. So Hollow Knight is a lovely game. It's weirdly sort of cute and like really grim. I've been playing it on the Switch. I've been getting on quite well with it, and it's been around for a while, and it was one of these games where. It just takes mechanics and stuff from genres that you know. You could look at it and see Dark Souls, or you can look at it and see whatever you want. Metroid, yeah. But it just does its own thing with it, and it's got a really strong. It's not like Castlevania. It's not set in a vampiric castle. It's not set in you know, the setting is weird, and the setting is really its own thing, and it's its own.
Yeah.
It's got a really strong identity. Hollow Knight.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell of a nice game.
I think that's why a lot of people liken it to Dark Souls, because Dark Souls has the identity. I mean, everyone likens.
It's got some of the mechanics, obviously, but
yeah,
it's got,
of course, yeah, and it's got like you collect souls and you
lose your souls basically when
Mm-hmm. But it's also got that very big sense of identity. It's all, but first of all, I guess one thing we've not mentioned, it's all based on insects.
Yeah.
So that sounds pretty weird, right? Yeah. You play as like a little beetle, and you go around slamming other beetles, mosquitoes, fucking killing everybody.
And the locations have got the great little names and the
Hallow Nest and all that sort of stuff and whatever.
It's really good. It's a really good game, and
it came out in 2017 on the PC. It started off as those things, Game Jam. Yeah. Remember that when it's like charity events and it was just a Game Jam idea, and then it got kickstarted. It's 3 people from Australia who developed it, and they made it. It's got such a strong art style, very
Team
very
Cherry,
unique.
they're called.
But Team Cherry from Australia, yeah. So they built this game. The 3 have done everything, and the art style's impeccable. The music is fantastic. The game is very very
really
good
tight.
example of what it is.
Really tight and sharp combat, really responsive. It feels satisfying to play.
This is what I said earlier this year a couple of times. There's a slew of Metroidvania, roguelike games. They're the buzzwords when you're making an indie game at the moment. But between like the two, like in Lord of the Rings when they're going down that river and there's 2 massive statues and they're like the big pillars of the community. Yeah. Well, one of them is Dead Cells and the other one's Hollow Knight. And if you're making a game, that's going to be roguelike or Metroidvania, they're the boys that you're coming at.
Otherwise, you're going to end up just like little Aragorn or even one of the hobbits in the boat in comparison to the size and scale
a pathetic,
of those
human,
giant statues.
Yeah, even if you dwarf, you might come different, but you're not a massive statue.
So
Timeless.
Anyway, that's what Hollow Knight is.
That's what Hollow Knight is. So it's good. And what happened when it was released to Switch? It saw like a new lease of life. You've picked it up recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it seems quite fresh in people's minds. It seems quite relevant. They just put a trailer out on Valentine's Day for Hollow Knight Silksong. Right? They've put out a couple of DLCs in the past. I thought this was another DLC. Click on it, boom, no. Hollow Knight 2. This is, by the way, Hollow Knight is their debut game, so this is their second game.
Yeah.
And they announced that they've been working on this for over a year now. It was originally intended as DLC, but it is spiraled out of control.
Can I tell you something that I find very, very interesting? It's coming to PC, Mac Linux, and Switch.
Same day.
First.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's coming to PS4 and Xbox.
Because the Switch has done so well for it.
Is up there, so there's probably 2 motivations there. It's good business, and it's probably like a little bit of let's share the love back, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of sharing the love back, not really related to the sort of meat and potatoes of the game, so I'm going to go on to what it is in a minute. But another little side note of nice development stuff. Because the Kickstarter was so overwhelming for Hollow Knight, even though they never at any point mentioned that they were making a sequel or anything like that, all original backers of the Kickstarter will get it for free.
Which is
very nice.
Really cool.
So you can see...
They must be doing some good business then. They must be making some money.
It's done very, very well. And I think anybody who's into indie games will have heard of this and probably played it, right? So Silksong, anyway, is... I think it's set as a sequel, a direct sequel, and you play as that woman, the Needle Woman. I can't remember what her name is. She's basically in Hollow Knight, you play as this big beetle, and you play as the
Hornet.
Hornet, that's it. Yeah, you play as Hornet.
You have to fight her and
you encounter her quite a few times.
That's it. Yeah, she's kind of like the Gary Oak of Hollow Knight 1. But imagine if they made Pokemon 2 with Gary's side of the story in it. So it's kind of
like that Karate Kid Amazon series, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about the other guys?
Yeah, exactly. But so this is interesting because, like I say, it started off as a DLC, but they've added there's over 120 different enemies. Again, the whole Dark Souls series doesn't have that many.
No.
Hollow Knight didn't have 120 different enemies in it.
Mm-hmm.
This has got whole new locations as well. You're not retreading old ground, and they've just took the simple sort of mechanic of, not the mechanic, but the kind of premise of the first game where you're burrowing deeper into the ground like insects do, and they just sort of inverted that, and this time you're trying to ascend, you're trying to get to the surface, but you're going to see, because you're in a different level of dirt, you're going to see different areas, so there's coral looking areas, and everywhere looks different. The game looks like a sequel should. It's not the same character, not the same models, not the same areas. they might like how Dark Souls they bring back Firelink Shrine for a bit. They might bring some of the areas back. What's like Dirtmouth or whatever the first place you go to. That's
I
quite a
read
central
that as
hub.
Dirtmouth.
Yeah, it is Dirtmouth probably. It probably is Dirtmouth.
And that's one of
Like
the nice
Bournemouth.
names.
Do you know
that's
what I mean?
what-
Like, yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's call it Dirtmouth then. I reckon like you could probably see that coming back, but it's got its own story, it's its own thing, and they've been working on it for like over a year. There's only 3 of them. How the fuck they've even done the concept art and designed 120 different enemies? I don't know. You get to see loads in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's very much a sizzle reel.
We don't know how far off it is yet.
No, there's no release date for it or anything
so it
like
could,
that.
it could still be a year away.
But
Yeah.
a sequel to like a really like honestly like if you look at anyone who like does indie reviews on YouTube or any people that write articles about it, this is in very high regard. It's like Dead Cells. It's very highly regarded for what it is.
If you enjoyed Dead Cells and you haven't played this,
Yeah,
probably worth a look.
it's got a bit more of that Metroid sort of style thing where there's a big map and you can get lost if you're not careful, if you're not observant or you haven't got a very good memory. You might lose where you need to go.
Yeah.
because the world isn't as like straightforward as Dead Cells kind of thing, and because there's no roguelike element. Like if you like, for example, I left it for a week, come back on, and I'm like, oh, where am I again?
Yeah, I do get that sense of it. Yeah,
You know,
but it doesn't. I have to say that equally, it doesn't take me too long to
Get your
just get
bearing
back into
and
it.
stuff like that,
The- yeah, but it is one of them things where you'll if you come back to it after a week, you'll spend 5 or 10 minutes going left in a certain direction, realize that you've explored that before, and the reason you haven't gone any further is because you can't jump high enough yet or something.
Again,
like that.
that's the Metroid bread and butter, isn't it?
Yeah, but
unlock the
you
bomb
end up
before you get there.
you end up retreading it if you've left it for a little bit because you kind of forget like have I explored
Yeah,
that part and
exactly.
whatever. But it's Hollow Knight. It's a great little game and there's a sequel on the way. So Liam, is this a game? I've not heard you talk about it a lot. Have you
Hollow
played
Knight.
it?
Yeah, I finished it on PC.
What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. Like the art style was beautiful, and that's immediately apparent as soon as you look at it.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see, like, specs. To me, it seems like Hollow Knight was out not even that long ago. So to
Yeah,
have a
it's still
full,
pretty new,
to have a full blown sequel, like announced this soon.
Yeah.
It's really surprised me.
I think what I think that they just know what it is, and they wouldn't. You could evolve it but just purely by having a different character. You got a different moveset, you got different abilities. You can animate it differently. You can
exactly.
do and you don't the bones of the game. You don't have to shake up too much apart from add and explore the different ideas and stuff. So I can see it's obviously really
Hollow Knight
impressive,
is like pasta, and then you just change the sauce. Boom, different meal.
right. Dear Special Moves, if you've got an email, send it in to dearspecialmoves@gmail.com.
That wasn't that bad, was it? It wasn't.
No, that was good. That was
Yeah,
like
that was a good
so
segue.
that was so conclusive.
Oh, right, thanks.
That's
man.
like job-
I thought it was like you just
No,
wanted to
man.
distance yourself from that as soon as possible.
No, it was like we have talked about that to such an extent. We've just reached the absolute end
we
point.
made the meal on
There
the
is
dinner.
nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say after that point. We've done it. So email us.
We've completed it in a way. haven't we? We completed Hollow Knight soon.
Exactly. dearspecialmoves@gmail.com with your questions, your opinions. If you disagree with anything we've said, if you hate Hollow Knight, actually don't email if you hate Hollow Knight. But
just
if
unsubscribe.
if you tell us what you thought about Nintendo Direct, tell us what you think about the upcoming Hollow Knight game, tell us what you think about Apex Legends, give us some anecdotes, whatever it is. dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. And we'll read it out and discuss it like this. Dear Special Moves, what do you think has caused this outrage/boycott culture within the gaming community? I feel like it's gone from being mad about aggressive monetization practices from EA to Shadow of the Tomb Raider dropping in price quickly after release. To me, it seems that people will review bomb anything now. That's from Lord Way. Thank you, Lord Way. Yeah, I do think this is a massive topic, actually, now that I've read that out loud in a recording.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah, the game. If it depends to me if you include the sort of YouTube community within the gaming community, because that's definitely been a contributing factor, like the screeching thumbnails and titles and stuff. You know, like and that's sort of. I don't know what that's partly driven by, but from our own experience, we know it's driven by if you do a sort of screeching title and thumbnail, there's a good chance a lot of people will watch it, and that's friendlier to the way that YouTube works. And if you're on this sort of news cycle where you got to be going, this is unbelievable, this is unreal, then that sort of all adds to it. But then with a general sort of forum mentality as well, where you can be so like entrenched in a community where you just, you know, your whole time online is spent playing a game, talking about a game, reading about a game, or talking to other people about a game. Where if things go wrong, it feels like a big sort of fuck. That I hate that, and that's like a, you know, feels like it takes a big chunk out of your own life, and then you want to do something about it, so you end up reviewing it really badly.
Clicking the thumb down button,
clicking
and writing
the thumb
hot
down
garbage
button.
in capital
You're
letters.
watching a YouTuber tell you that this is an absolute disgrace, and then you end up going on the Steam review thing, and then you give it a bad review, and then it is. There is a lot of anger. But you know, there has been a lot of.
Sorry.
If you've watched like any amount of Jim Sterling videos, you've had someone tell you about the bad shit that's been going on, which is probably quite a new thing. Like, there was a lot of bad shit going on in the 90s with magazines, and there was a lot of dodgy shit, like of paid previews and advertisements and stuff, and the really blurry line between a review and oh, you should be really excited about this preview, because we got paid by Sega to say it or whatever. So it's not a new thing, but I think what is new is just the fact that there are people who are like really awake and alert to it.
Sorry that I'm sneezing. I'm allergic.
Sorry,
to
you guys are both well ill. It's like Liam's coughing his head off.
Sorry for my coughing fit.
I was fine, so I got
I feel like the worst thing to do though is talk to, like, I don't want to go, are you alright, Jake? Are you alright, Liam? Because then you feel like, shit, I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, and people. So if you just
well, what it is, like, people who are watching it maybe might have like the visual heads up that I'm about to sneeze by my body language, but I feel sorry for the audio listeners who are just like trying to listen to you talking about magazines and shit, and then they can just hear so like you listen to anime in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna say sounds like Sekiro or something.
Yeah, I only moved to that. So yeah, I think what it is like, it's just everyone's got a platform, innit? And unfortunately, and I know this sounds like, listen, please don't fucking go mad about this one, The thing on the internet is, the internet tricks you into thinking that everything you have to say is worth it, and it's not sometimes, right?
Sometimes you should just shut up.
Yeah, I've been ignoring that for 27 years, right?
Well, that compulsion, they're like,
no, I've been ignoring the advice. You should stop talking for 27 years. But sometimes, like, you just.
I wasn't talking to you then. I was just talking.
No, I know what you mean, but you don't. I don't, like, for example, Metro Exodus. Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't seem to be doing very well. Like, lots of bugs and stuff, and that whole thing went. There's a sticker. Have you heard about this with the box? If you got the physical edition of Metro Exodus,
on
it
PC.
It says Epic Store, but it's actually just a sticker. You can peel it off, and there's the Steam logo.
Do you remember the No Man's Sky online feature thing?
Oh right,
it's that, but Epic in Steam instead of online features.
But you know what? I haven't played the game, and that's all that matters. So I don't talk about it. But there's people that have got that same information, gone mad about it. Review bombing the game. I mean, the game itself.
Well, let me tell you this. I have been playing it, and it's good.
Exactly.
I've been having a nice time, and I'm not worried about it.
This is how the real world works.
But
you have played it, so I want to listen to what you have to say about it. But this is the thing.
Thanks, man. You can do that in a video later this week.
But on the internet, nice. But on the internet, this is the thing. And this is one thing about outrage culture in video games I find stupid. I've said it. I don't know if I said this last podcast.
People ranting about stuff they haven't played yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell me or show me? Actually, do you know what? Yeah, it's all video game people that do this shit as well. Imagine you picked up like a newspaper. Doesn't matter what newspaper it is, and if you don't like believing in the media, alright mate, fine, fucking hell. Imagine going to a forum. Imagine speaking to somebody that's reviewing a film, but they haven't seen the film. Or you say, oh, I want to go to that restaurant, and they give it a bad review again. They want some of that pasta, that Hollow Knight pasta, yeah? And someone's going,
I've heard they're putting a service charge on it. I've heard they're putting a service charge on a bill.
And the spaghetti bolognese is shit, but I've never eaten there. Yeah. You'd just go, what are you on about? But with video games, for some reason, all these people that have played the game for about 45 minutes and decided I'm going to make a rant about it and shit, people are like lapping it up. Bro, you haven't played the game. I've got no time to listen to people who haven't played the game.
Did you just say bro?
Talking about it. Yeah, I don't know what happens to me, but listen, I'm trying to...
I thought you were quoting a comment or something from the beginning of the
Well, that's it. I don't have any time to listen to people whinging about a game that they haven't played, yeah? If it's about the principles, that's one thing, but don't be talking to me about why I shouldn't be getting fucking Anthem if you haven't played Anthem because it's not out yet. I don't care what sort of shit you're doing.
Yeah, and then that's what sort of annoys me a little bit, because we get that, like, if we would play something and say I don't like this about it, I don't like this about it, we don't get many, because we've got a small community of very nice people, but like
No, we do. We have a nice fucking ride of it.
Yeah, we really do. Yeah, you guys are ace, but we'll get a couple that are like, oh, you're only saying this because you're biased against whatever, and it's like,
no, honestly, I don't care.
We couldn't give less of a shit about it. Like,
I've been giving all of my time to EA for the past 2 weeks.
Exactly, yeah.
And I don't feel bad about that one bit.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And why should you? Why
exactly, but if I wasn't, it's not because I'm boycotting it.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing, and I just want everyone, just try and think of that, though, isn't it? Like, would you listen to anyone telling you about any of these films coming out, any of these films in the cinema at the moment, or an album or whatever? If they hadn't heard it and they were telling you it was shit, you'd be laughing in their face. So how come it's a different mentality when it's video games? And I can understand, like,
anyone telling you that you should be afraid of a game.
It's weird.
Just move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing about it, if someone's played a game for a couple of hours, I can kind of get it, yeah. Because I played Crackdown 3 for 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's me on Crackdown 3 done. We'll do a video about that as well. But there's a reason why.
Well, not just that. Liam's beaten it.
Liam's done the whole thing, yeah.
Which is why we're doing a video.
And but you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason I only played 6 hours. I've not done 6 hours and thought, I know enough about it. I've done 6 hours and then I've decided I'm not playing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But at least I've fired this game up.
Well, that is our spokesman, Jake Kukowski, saying pretty much what. Well, I don't want to speak for you as well, Liam, but that's exactly what I think. But there is this thing of in the last couple of years where you've had, going back to what I was saying earlier, where you've had like EA doing Battlefront 2, but you've got a lot of you've got a lot of people with a platform saying this is bollocks, this is outrageous, this is really bad. You've got a lot of places where the actual community can go and talk about the stuff on Reddit and social media and shit.
And it does, and there are good sides of that, isn't there? We've seen things get backtracked. Yeah. Because of it as well.
Yeah, there are things that are bollocks, right? But I think the levels of rage at this point, it's just like a permanent state of anger for like probably like 3 or 4 things that are quite bad.
It's always the slightest of things as well. Yeah. Like it was perfectly justified to get mad about stuff like Battlefront 2 monetization, but sometimes now it's just like they changed the character's backstory, so they must be like peddling some sort of agenda.
What are they lying about? Like what else are they lying about? It's really difficult.
The rage that gets to me, it doesn't get to me, but it's like the rage that's the weirdest is like people that just obviously don't like video games anymore. They only like the PlayStation 2. It's just like, go away. It's like, imagine if you went to a gig or something and then you were just screaming at abuse at a band for not playing stuff in their first album.
I'm pretty sure that's happened.
You just think like, mate, are you in the right place? That's what I just want to ask everybody.
Isn't that what Bob Dylan's entire career is? People shouting at him
and he doesn't give a fuck. But like, that's all. Like, are you in the right place? If you don't like video games and you haven't liked video games for the past 15 years and you're upset because every game is not Settlers 2, maybe just get into like boxing or something, innit? Try and find a different hobby or something, because I think you might have grown
you
out
want
of
these
it.
people to get good at punching. That's your solution.
Yeah, well, unless they're Ukrainian. Listen, I've got to say, this is honestly the thing that I see the most. I see all these people on the internet, like especially people that are in the gaming sort of world, just whinging about games, man. Can you imagine any other fandom? Like,
but then it gets views, doesn't it? And that is absolutely without doubt in my mind, that is the main motivation for almost all of the rage sort of videos there are. I think there are, like Jim Sterling, I think is like is its own his own thing. Like that's what he is, and he doesn't need views because he's got a huge sort of Patreon thing. And I just think that's he's built his thing about being like a social conscience. But then loads of other people have gone, that's working for him. I think I'm going to shout about the same sort of stuff.
Exactly. And I just wanted to, because I've just said a lot about one side of it, but just quickly on the other side, like, when things are bad, I'm not just saying I'm not just saying put up and shut up. I'm just saying like the thing about screeching all fucking day long. Is it like delegitimizes it when there is a problem? Because like, for example, like pick someone in your head. You probably know like 3 people. Think of like some YouTube video essayist or whatever that's always whinging about video games, right? And they say everything is a travesty or something. When something is actually a travesty, it's no different. Like, their thumbnails are the same. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Apex Legends or Anthem, 2 games that are completely different, doing completely different things. Both of them, in the eyes of some people, are a travesty. But it's not. So, like, when it's all negative, it just makes you not listen.
Yeah.
So if someone was
It's
balanced...
like shouting at a kid. If you shout at a kid all the time, if you raise your voice with your children all the time...
Yeah, they become serial killers, is that right?
I just think they just don't listen. They
Oh,
just don't
right,
take it seriously. If you're a teacher and you're permanent, like that's how I used to do in my school. If any teacher that I remember that was constantly in a state of anger and frustration,
Yeah.
no one ever took them seriously. But if it was a quiet sort of teacher that just every now and then went shut up,
Yeah.
everyone listened when they went shut up. You know, it's exactly that sort of principle. So yeah, that's a huge topic, and I think that there's a lot of like state of the industry type things there that we're not nearly qualified to talk about. So, but it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shouting, basically.
Yeah, and a
Even
lot of
when
it comes...
things are like universally positive, they still somehow find a way to make
Yeah.
them mad.
A lot of it's
the
passion, unbridled passion.
Yeah.
A lot of it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
A lot of it doesn't make any sense. Like some of the YouTube sort of title and thumbnails that you see are actually
Yeah.
just nonsense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because it sounds like it's something bad or something.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, like I can just make one up on the spot. Right, listen to this. Right, imagine this: a thumbnail of Lifeline from Apex Legends, and it says in capital letters, "This is so wrong." Right? You think, "Whoa, what's wrong? What's wrong?" You click on it, and it's like, "This, oh my god, guys, this is so right. It's wrong. EA are giving this game away."
Yeah.
But the title and thumbnail is like, EA should
Yeah.
not
But they
have
wouldn't-
done this.
But then they wouldn't say that until 9 minutes in.
Exactly, yeah.
They would-
Yeah, EA are a
Let me just-
company
let me
that have
just
done this
preface
in the
this.
past.
Yeah.
This. And then it's like, and now they're committing suicide by giving this game away for free. It's so easy to do it, you see.
Yeah.
It's just stupid, man.
We could be successful.
We could
but
do it right now,
We
mate.
choose not to be. Okay.
It's like, you know, when Bane has his hand on the neck, and he's like, the power, but he's not using it. When Bane has got his hand on that man's neck,
same word.
he's
Yeah.
ready to snap. It's like that.
Yeah.
Power.
It's exactly
You
like that.
feel in control. That bit, yeah.
What's that?
Right, I can't. Right, we can't do another email after that. That's what time? is
You're
it?
trying to get this hour-long dart, you know. People are saying they want an hour 15.
Do another one if you want.
Get another one
go on.
done.
No, you're going to regret this.
Alright. Yeah.
Go on then. All right, let me pick one here. All right. This is quite a nice one actually. All right, dear Special Moves. Recently, I've had a really slow week in my job. I work a 9 to 5 job, but every day I was done at 11 a.m. For the rest of the day, I had to live in total mental anguich.
Sorry, this is a really nice one.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I could be playing so many awesome things now. The torment was something straight.
Yeah, this is a really nice one, isn't it? Yeah.
The second paragraph was good. Okay. The torment was something straight out of the seventh circle of hell.
What? Yeah.
Because I had my Switch with me, but taking out in front of my boss seemed a little bit too cocky. But on Friday of this god-awful week, while browsing the internet and watching something, almost all of YouTube, something great happened. I found something special that I want to share with as many people as I can. It's a documentary series about 8-bit era game music called Digging in the Carts, and it is an absolute pleasure to watch. While watching it, I remembered that Jake mentioned his love for chiptune music quite a few times, so I thought I'll write to you. Anyway, thanks for the awesome podcasts and videos. That's Christoph Skalski. Thank you very much,
yeah, nice
dude.
one.
That's a good
That is
email.
nice.
Got there in the end.
Yeah.
So digging
Pain
in,
and suffering,
digging in the
80% of it, 20% redemption.
digging in the carts, right? So I had a little look to see this, and yeah, there's actually a couple of series called that, but yeah, there's a series on there about 8-bit era game music. So if you're stuck for something to watch and work, and you want to watch some interesting gaming stuff, then check that out. Digging in the carts. That's a strong recommendation from Christoph Skalski, who spent a week in the seventh circle of hell but found redemption.
But clawed his way out.
Yeah, so
Recommend
that's
some
just a
chip tune.
little community recommendation there from Christoph. That sounds really cool. Yeah, and likewise, right? So that'll be another good Dear Special Moves genre of email. tell us what you've watched that's good. Just tell us what you. Just tell us what you
We'll
enjoyed.
curate it, and if we agree, we'll put it out there.
Yeah, exactly. But that actually seems like a great shout, so I'll chuck that in there. So if you've been playing anything good or watching anything good, then do let us know. So here's another nice one. Dear Special Moves, I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you touched on difficulty modes sometimes being a different experience and not just enemies who kill you quicker and have more health themselves. So this is in reference to the conversation we had last week.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
that was another Dear Special Moves.
Yeah. Capcom have been nailing this with their last 2 Resident Evil games. In Resident Evil 7, I started a New Game Plus playthrough after finishing the game the first time because I had already played through the game. I thought I knew where the jump scares were and what to expect. Well, they were different. They employed similar tactics to the remake of Resident Evil 2 too. In Resident Evil 2 Remake, they reserved the mechanics of only being able to save your progress with a consumable ink ribbon for the harder difficulty. So this is like the old school way of doing it.
Yep.
And it was fucking, if you don't know the game, especially, it could be a brutal thing, right? So you've got a limited amount of saving opportunities, whereas if you just play it through the remake on regularly, on normal, you can
there's
just...
an auto-save, and you can manual save as well,
as
much as you want.
Exactly. And I was basically saving every time I passed a typewriter, so there's this ink ribbon mechanic which sort of limits it. I knew that I would probably play this game a few times through, but I could not bring myself to play on the normal mode and lose the ink ribbon mechanic. To me, the scarcity of even saving makes the experience so much more terrifying, and you get such a huge sense of relief when you finally get to one of those typewriter rooms. Resident Evil 2 is definitely an example of the difficulty mode changing the experience significantly. Please tell me that you used the ink ribbon mechanic when playing Resident Evil 2. If not, you owe it to yourself to do so in the next playthrough. Thanks for the great content, guys. Chimpo. Thanks, Chimpo. A long-time listener, viewer, emailer.
Nice one.
Nice one, dude. I haven't done that. I haven't done the ink ribbon thing. Have you guys?
Yeah, I did it in 7 and 2.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Went to the master here. He's finished the game 8 times.
Well, I was laying it on a plate for him. I wasn't going to... Liam, you have done this. Tell me more.
I finished Resident Evil 2 Remake 6 times.
No, sorry, man.
I did a playthrough on hardcore for Claire and Leon, so I got to do the ink ribbon thing twice. And then in 7, they did something, but they used the cassette tapes instead. Do
you think it changed the game completely? Do you reckon this is very...
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, you've got a... So, with the limited ink ribbons, it was like... Do I save now and be careful, or do I risk it all, do this section, but possibly if I die, I might lose a load of progress? And so it forces you to think a bit more, like, tactically, I guess. And so you've got to... Yeah, it's not. It changes how you approach things. So it's like, do you rush in, try and do it, or do you take your time? Do you scavenge for ink ribbons?
Yeah.
And then it's like, should you... Because you can, like, save... spam in the normal mode, but in hardcore, because of the ink ribbons, you've got to like, is it worth saving at this point, or do I just push on a bit and then save after I get through that?
For me, it's like the fear of crashes as well, because I've had that like a few times in the last sort of year, I guess. Well, I don't know if it's the PS4 Pro or something, but I've just had some bad luck with like games crashing and losing progress and shit. And incidentally, it's happened to me this week with Metro Exodus, and it wasn't a crash, it was just like a bug, but I'd lost like 25 minutes or something, and it does autosave, but the autosave didn't correct the bug, so I had to go back to the last sort of manual quick save that I'd done, so I lost like 25 minutes of gameplay, and that stings when you're an adult. Like when you when you work full time, if you lose 25 minutes of gameplay, that hurts. Like so that's probably and that would be scary. Like playing the whole game thinking I could lose, a lot of progress. That's that is that death fear in Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff, because you do feel like it hurts when you die and you're punished.
If you die on your way back to the souls and you lose them.
Yeah,
that's a bad feeling.
And when you're first starting out, you take every death as like, because your brain hasn't adjusted for playing Dark Souls. You don't really appreciate that it's part of the game.
Yeah,
and you sort of, and I reckon a lot of people who play, especially Bloodborne first without ever playing Dark Souls, that it takes them hours and hours to get through the first area because they're so scared of dying,
Exactly.
and they take so much care. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. So it might be. I haven't played it. I haven't replayed the Resident Evil 2 through yet. So replayed it through.
Yeah.
So that might be a good shout for me. I think I might.
Yeah.
I do like a good horror
It is
sort of
fun.
experience. So nice one. Okay, so thanks for those emails. Remember, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com if you want to send us your whatever it is. So I've given you loads of suggestions this week. So send them in and we'll read them out and discuss them. I think because there's good topics there. There's good topics there this week.
Decent.
That was a really good topic about the outrage culture thing. That's a big thing, but it's not something we'd necessarily think. Oh, let's talk about outrage culture. So yeah, send us in your emails.
Exactly that, man.
Let's do the new releases before we sign off. Then, so I've only picked out a couple this week. We've got Anthem on Friday, the 22nd, on PS4, PC, and Xbox One. Now we will be playing and discussing this for sure because we've got copies from our patron Stu, who's unbelievably very kindly got us copies to play so we can
jump on in
little,
the javelins. I was trying to think of what the name of them was. They are javelins.
Sounds like you're making fun of it, but no, that's actually what it is.
No, I couldn't remember what it was. I was
jumping in the javelins or whatever. No, that's what it's called. So yeah, we'll be playing Anthem.
Yeah,
I'm going in with
an open heart.
Lower expectations than I had. Not expectations, but lower hopes than I had before. Because you just never expect anything to be whatever you want it to be. But yeah, having played the but you shouldn't go. This
Shakespeare quote, that isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. You shouldn't go.
It actually is, by the way.
This is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've played it and I'm like, I don't know. So maybe that'll mean I'll have a nicer time. Because
that's what I mean. I'm going in and I kind of know what to expect. Like when I played the alpha, I was like, oh, okay. Well, let's see what it's like in the beta because maybe there's going to be some big steps. The beta wasn't the beta; it was the demo because obviously we're only so close away. And now I'm expecting it to be just that quality again. So if it's any better than that, then good. And obviously, we only got a very small segment of the game in the demo, so that'd be good when I can just kind of do things at my own pace a bit more. Like I might not wanted to have done that side quest. I wanted to do something else, but I couldn't in the demo. So I wasn't that hot on the Resident Evil 2 demo. I thought it was good. I thought the game was fucking brilliant though. So do you know what I mean?
That was interesting though because you only had half an hour.
Yeah.
So it was a bit.
Anthem gave you several hours worth of content.
Yeah.
That you could replay it. You will.
True that. We're doing a proper look though.
Absolutely. We'll be playing it and hopefully having a nice time. But we'll see. I think the review embargo's got to be lifting this week.
Soonish, yeah.
I think it has. But
the people are already playing it.
exactly. There's people streaming it now because of the EA
because they
Premier
got
thing.
the Big Bollocks edition. The other game that I picked up for some reason is on the Thursday the 21st is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which is coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox. So this is
source of a lot of memes.
It is, but popular sort of. I reckon it's got a lot of love.
RPG, visual novel thing.
I mean, I was saying earlier about... actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Right. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. It's out on Switch, PS4 and Xbox. I'll tell you guys in a bit. So they're the only ones I picked out. I don't know if there's anything else that you can think of.
I don't know.
Is that all you got for the week?
This Origami Shadow Edition is coming to the Switch.
You're not even bringing a Switch port for us this week?
I played that on PC, Origami.
Well, Phoenix
quite
Wright.
fun.
Oh, that is the Switch port.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. I was so.
Would you want a fucking jingle or something?
No, it's just because you had me you had me really intrigued with what you were saying that you couldn't say. So I was like, ooh, man, game's out next week. Then that's not much. That's the slimmest pickings all year.
What it was I remembered I'd said it to you before we started recording the podcast.
No, that's fine, man.
So
Don't have to explain yourself to me.
Later.
I just want to know what.
You literally have Anthem, Origami, Phoenix Wright, and then a bunch of anime visual novels.
Yeah, that's fucking right. So let's leave the podcast there. Don't question me again. That was the Special Moves podcast. Please send us emails to dearspecialmoves@gmail.com and we will have a look and discuss in the following week. Check us out on Patreon if you want to join the community. We've got a Discord channel. We're doing gaming nights. There's all sorts of stuff there. Check out the link will be in the description if you want to see that. We're all on Twitter if you want to follow us on Twitter. We've got different names and that. It's actually, we put it on the screen at the start of every video, including the podcast.
And in the description.
I just feel like that's just like an automatic thing that you just wouldn't register after a certain point. You just see Oh, they're the name tiles, and you wouldn't even think about it. But yeah, we're on Twitter if you want to check us out there. And yeah, we'll be doing a few videos this week, hopefully.
Yeah, it was slim this week. It was. We only did the podcast.
Yeah,
we were going to do one on Apex Legends, but you know,
we had some shit going on. So we will be back in a couple of days, hopefully, with another video and another podcast next week. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.